The growing trade across the continent is driving the demand for enhanced digitization of all processes across the trade value chain. The digital revolution requires heavy investments in physical infrastructure, such as electricity, internet access and telecommunication networks, as well as investing in digital education and skills training. The European Investment Bank values the cordial and very productive relationship it has with Kenya. And we have so far invested over 1.7 billion euros to support various sectors of the economy that supports trade. Let me give you a few examples. The expansion and rehabilitation of the regional port access road that was launched by President Ruto in February this year. The Mariakani to ease movement of goods and from the port of Mombasa. We have done several investments to increase the capacity of various Olkaria geothermal plants, which have supported the increase of clean power generation to power businesses to produce goods and offer services. We have supported the last mile connectivity project to take electricity access to underserved regions, a key factor in enabling the digital revolution across the country. And through our intermediated lending via local banks, we have provided much needed capital to the private sector to produce goods and services. Through our partnership with private equity funds, venture capital has been able to flow to Kenyan enterprises and especially the digital startup scene. A good example is Seed Star Ventures Fund that invested in POA Internet, which provides affordable and reliable internet to the country's low-income areas. Or the Helios Fund, which recently invested in IX Africa, a leading developer and operator of hyperscale-ready data centers in Kenya. Digitization is one of the key policy priorities of the European Commission under its Global Gateway Strategy. And the European Union has declared its intention to work with partner countries, including Kenya, to deploy digital networks and infrastructure. And the European Investment Bank is heavily involved in supporting these investments. Actually, over the last 5 years, EIB's digital economy lending, looking at sub-Saharan Africa, have mobilized a cumulative 4.3 billion euros, and it is growing. To the larger population of Kenya, the discussion happening in this room today might not touch them directly, but when they get the opportunity to communicate better, go online to study, be included in the financial system through mobile banking or cross-border integrated payment systems, sell their products or services online globally, their lives will be touched in a transformative way.
This economic partnership agreement is in place in something more than a year. And immediately we can see the positive impact on the growth of the trade volume. We are talking about 3.4 billion euros. We are talking about increase of 13%. And we have seen also the positive impact on overall investments flow, which over the decade grew by more than half, by 53%. And of course, we are very proud and very happy that the European Union is Kenya's first export destination, accounting for more than 14% of the exports. The discussion we had with His Excellency, Mr. President, and Cabinet Secretary, my new friend, with whom I'm sure we will be very intensively communicating, Lee, is the fact that I think we are just discovering the potential which exists between Kenya and the European Union. And I would say the first testimony to that is the fact that today we are going to inaugurate Eurochem Kenya, because this just demonstrates that there is interest not only from the political level, but from concrete business operators, from the business leaders who are gathered here in this room, who just want to tap into this potential and make sure when we see each other next time that these percentages would be higher, investment would grow, and trade would be bigger than we have seen it today. When I'm traveling and I'm going to these international conferences, I'm always happy when Thomas Ostros is with me, because here I will do a little bit of a promotion for him and for his bank, because sometimes we tend to forget the European Investment Bank is the biggest public bank on this planet. Nobody has bigger bank than the EIB. And when they put the financial muscle into something, it works. And I know Thomas, that he's a very dedicated person, and just few projects that he mentioned, he just did it out of the modesty, because I know that list is much longer. Plans are even for more investments, and I'm sure that you will be talking to the EIB colleagues a lot. About the future potential, I would just say that we see a huge opportunity for trade. We discussed with Mr. President and also with Cabinet Secretary potential for deeper cooperation in the services, deeper cooperation in the investments. We've also been very open about certain trade irritants, which will go into the detail later on. But we also found a way how to resolve them, how to use the structure created by this agreement to go along the way, and if there is a problem, to take care of it immediately, not to accumulate the things, but to make sure that we are having a clear path for the investment.
Through digitization, we unlock innovation, catalyze industrialization, and create seamless access to markets, information, and networks for mutual benefit of Kenya and the European Union. Kenya is open and ready to do business with you. That is why we have actively pursued and secured multiple and multilateral, regional, and bilateral trade agreements, positioning Kenya as a gateway to global markets. We are proud signatories to the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, which gives us access to the $3.7 trillion market of 1.4 billion people in our continent. Through the Kenya-EU Economic Partnership Agreement, we enjoy privileged access to a $19 trillion market of 450 million good people of the European Union. Under the Africa Growth and Opportunities Act, we have entry into the $27 trillion United States market of 330 million people. Our agreement with the United Kingdom links us to a $3.3 trillion market. Our newly signed Kenya-UAE Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement connects us to another $503 billion Gulf market. Closer to Kenya, Kenya remains a key partner in the East African community, a $336 billion common market with a population of 300 million people. Each of these agreements connect Kenyan businesses to global opportunities, unlocking markets, attracting investments, and driving shared prosperity. Excellencies, we remain committed to implementing a pro-trade policy regime that not only foster inclusive wealth creation, but also generate much-needed opportunities. Our goal is to build a comprehensive, resilient economy that benefits every Kenyan while strengthening mutually beneficial partnership with allies like the EU. As we celebrate the digitization of trade, my administration is implementing bold and transformative measures to build a robust digital economy. We're rolling out, for example, an ambitious last-mile fiber connectivity program, aiming to install 100,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable and 25,000 public Wi-Fi hotspots by 2027, ensuring no part of Kenya is left behind in the digital revolution. Through the expanded e-citizen platform, over 20,000 government services have been digitized, making it easier, faster, and cheaper for businesses to engage with government. We have established 284 digital hubs in Tibet institutions, with 400 more under construction. These hubs are becoming vital centers of innovation, enterprise, and digital skills development. Kenya is attracting global technology giants. For example, Microsoft Amazon Web Services, and Apple have already established a presence in Kenya. Global BPO leaders such as Sama, CCI, and Teleperformance, in fact, the leading BPO company in the world, have all anchored their operations in Kenya, positioning our country as a leading regional hub for software development, business process outsourcing, and digital services. To support this growth, we have introduced tax reforms that foster a pro-business environment. The finance bill of this year, 2025, reduces the tax on digital asset transfers from 3% to 1.5%. This signals our commitment to an innovation-driven economy that nurtures startups, MSMEs, and investors alike. These efforts are already bearing fruit. Just last month, the International Monetary Fund ranked Kenya as the 6th largest economy in Africa, up from the 8th 2.5 years ago, projecting our GDP to reach $132 billion by 2025.